We are pleased to be joined by Joanna Borowski, Manager of Education and Community Engagement at New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Steve.
You were part of a great, as I said, panel discussion we had on early childhood education. You love classical music because?
When I was 4 years old, my family was living in Hong Kong. And one day I just said to my mom, and I remember this, I said, I want to learn how to play the piano. And she said, well, we're in Hong Kong. We're going to be going back to the US in about a year, and you can learn then. I said, no, I want to learn now, Mom. She said, well, we don't have a piano. And I said, rent one. And she did. And I started studying piano, and that was...
How old were you?
I was 4.5.
Come on.
And she was the biggest supporter I had. I would go to weekly lessons, and I'd come home and practice, and I'd have, a little 1 finger or 2 finger tune, and she'd say, oh, please play that. That's my favorite. And that's how she would encourage me to practice. And I have had a passion for it ever since. And to be able to share it with young people has been an incredible joy and an incredible privilege.
Talk about the role of New Jersey Symphony Orchestra as it relates to helping early childhood education students, if you will, 3 to 5, in the city of Newark.
Sure. Well, the city of Newark is definitely at our heart. That's where we live, where we exist, and where we go all the way to the state from there. So Newark is at the heart of our mission. And the 3 to 5-year-olds in Newark, those classrooms, those pre-K classrooms, have the opportunity every year to be visited by members of the New Jersey Symphony and be visited by our partners, Touts the Music, who are early childhood specialists, and they bring in instrument petting zoos. They go right to the rugs in the classrooms. And so it inspires the children and engages them. They get to see these instruments that they've never seen before. And then at the end of that, their teachers take them in a bus on a field trip to NJPAC, where the New Jersey Symphony performs a concert specifically tailored for them. And it just engages their senses.
What's it do for these kids?
It engages their senses, but also at a really critical stage of their development, it is showing them what's possible. It's helping them to learn at an early age to be leaders, to collaborate.
As a student of leadership, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Sure.
What is the correlation between learning about music, classical music, and becoming a leader?
Because they see how the instruments function not only within their own instrument families, but in a larger orchestra as a whole, and that at different times, different instruments are leading the charge or are leading the music. And then when they have an opportunity to really learn it themselves, and that doesn't necessarily happen right there and then, but we do have programs as they get older where they can become the leaders, the musical leaders, where they can pick up the violin and be the one to lead the ensemble or be the one to lead the quartet. And it's just an important part of their development, and it helps with their academic success and their social skills, just really especially in this 21st century world where collaboration, which is inherent in music.
Music education. There are some who have said that they are concerned about the place for music education moving forward and that it could get squeezed out of early childhood education, you say?
I don't think so, because I think it's so critical, but I also think we at the New Jersey Symphony are uniquely positioned to be able to continue delivering it where some school systems are not able to. But we can deliver the programs. We can give accents to the learning that they're already having, and kind of takes that burden off of the school system because we're providing it.
But someone might say, why is the Symphony Orchestra doing that? And you are there to go out and perform, and you do, and you're extraordinary. Do you see it at the core of your mission to be doing this with 3 to 5-year-olds in Newark?
Yes, because we're engaging the whole community by starting with the youngest members. And in many ways, we're really inspiring the music lovers of the future, whether they decide to study an instrument or not, that music can be at the heart of their community. any music is really at the heart of their community, but we're showing them that this is something that can be theirs, that they can appreciate, that they should participate in if it speaks to them.
And if someone were to argue, come on, these are kids in the inner city, what would be the connection between them and classical music if someone were to play the quote-unquote stereotype game, which is totally counterproductive and negative and has no value, but could be thinking it, you say?
I would say that to not even go there, because I would say, come with me to a classroom.
What would they see?
They would see 3 to 5 year olds sitting up and listening, and the aha moment of when the first notes are played for them. And that's why part of the preschool program is individual members of the symphony go in and basically give them a private concert. And so they, this violin that they've never seen before, all of a sudden they hear the music that it makes, and it engages their senses.
Do they get to touch the instruments?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Our partners Touch the Music actually bring what we call an instrument petting zoo. So they bring violins and trombones and drums, and they show the children the instrument, because that even that first whoa moment of, look at this thing I've never seen before. Right. But then they have a chance to pick it up and hold it in their hands, or use their hands, or use sticks and bang on the drum, or pick up a French horn and have someone kind of supporting them because it's very heavy.
It's interesting. I have to ask you this. You mentioned about an orchestra being like a team and leadership being involved. What's the greatest lesson you have learned about leadership?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say a good leader is first and foremost a good listener. And that's something that you learn being part of an orchestra or part of a smaller group. Because again, as a pianist, I was always a little bit on the outside of the orchestra, because there's no piano in most orchestral works. But being able to play with smaller groups and being part of chamber music groups, you have to listen in order to be successful.
Joanna Borowski with the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and 13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by the PNC Foundation, the New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Sharing Network, Caldwell University, PSE&G, JFK Medical Center, and by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.